Aww.
Shameless plug.
Mom of the year.
Yeah.
To talk to you about Texas Legislature Online, which is basically a citizen lobbyist secret weapon, right? On the web. Anywhere.
No, you're not on
That's not good.
the web.
So one thing about navigating the Capitol is that there's Wi-Fi that's available for everybody. So there's your first lesson. It's available on the ground. It's actually the same network that the legislative offices have out in the districts. Hooray! That's that easy. It usually works pretty well. Texas Legislature Online, like I said, is the citizen lobbyist secret weapon. If any of you know me or you follow what I post on Facebook, you know I post a fair bit about the legislature. And fairly frequently people come to me and they say, you know, who funds you? Or how are you down in Austin all day long? This morning I already had one. You know, I've been watching what you're posting. You've been down here a lot. Little secret, this is my first time to the Capitol this session. Because work's been busy and I'm here today. But you can find, there's stuff you cannot do unless you're in the building, testifying before a committee, talking to your reps in their offices, others are going to speak about. But as far as the stuff Amy just talked about, tracking progress of bills, even, you know, the reality TV version, just watching what's happening, you can do all of it without leaving your house. So how do you do that? First thing you do is you go to Google or your search engine of choice, and you just look for Texas Legislature Online. I'm starting here because sometimes people say, I heard about the Texas Legislature Online, but I don't know how to find it on the internet. This is how you find things on the internet. Ta-da, there it is. Wi-Fi better cooperate. I'm also going to note, I didn't do given the time constraints, I'm not doing a presentation that I'm flipping back and forth, and this is going to be purely interactive, so pray the Wi-Fi cooperates. This is what the CLO site looks like. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah. I can make fonts huge, try to scroll around it. And I could spend about 2 hours on this page, and I won't, but I could. This is something our state government, frankly, does pretty well, putting all these resources online and making them usable. I am going to walk you through this page, though. I'm going to dump a lot of info on you in a short amount of time. I don't expect you to pass a test at the end or remember all of this, but I want you to get a sense for what all is there so that you can go dig into it yourself later. That's your homework, is to leave here and bring this page up and figure out all the things. You're not going to break the government any more than it already is by browsing this page, so just go for it. So, just walking down the left-hand side here, you have tabs for the Texas House and the Texas Senate. They're very similar, so let's just call out the things they have in common. You have a link to their individual pages, which we'll look at a little bit later if we have time. They're very unique and different from each other, and they have a lot of the same resources but some different things as well. You have a list of the members in each chamber that are linked through to their office directory info, their staff, contact info. If you need to call your rep or senator, this is where you go to find that info. You have a list of all the committees Amy talked about, and we're going to get into all of this in a bit. I just want to walk through what all's here right now. You have upcoming committee meetings and past committee meetings where they posted that they're going to meet in 3 days to talk about a given bill, or they missed it 2 days ago, but there's the call. You have witness info. You have the calendars that she talked about for both the House and the Senate. This is one thing that's only on the House side, but it's really, really cool. The current amendment, when they're in session in the big room and going through a bill, you can click on that and you'll see a scanned PDF of what they're debating right now as it was handed to the clerk. When you get into the video stuff, it's very much reality TV. Journals, not trying to go there yet. Journals is huge. A lot of people, when they talk about TLO, they mostly just talk about how to log in and create a bill list. And the stuff that gets overlooked that I want to talk about a little bit today, journal is going to be a big one of them. Seeing what all they're doing day to day in a written transcribed format. That's the left side. That's what's over here. Again, we will come back to that. Middle column is almost entirely dedicated to looking up bills. Frankly, this box right here is mostly what you care about. All of these are kind of variations of that, and then some FAQs. How do you do these common tasks? Come back to that in a bit. Over here on the right side, we have a link to the mobile version of the TLO. This is the version that works on your smartphone or your tablet, and it's basically just the same thing, but with the mobile-friendly interface. All the same stuff's there. One thing that's additional on this interface that you don't see on the other one is you can actually register to testify in a committee if you're on Capitol Wi-Fi. If you hit that link and you're not on Capitol Wi-Fi, it says go to the Capitol. As long as you're in the building and you hit this, you're going to get the same interface you get at any one of those kiosks out in the hall. And when people talk to you about testifying on a committee, they'll go through more of that with you. Other big thing over here is video broadcasts. Like I said, that's the reality TV, the C-SPAN interface. We're going to talk about that more later because that is so key to knowing what's going on. If you cannot come down here because you're working or because you're watching your kids or because you're whatever you're doing, but you can have TV on in the background even. Most thrilling show in Texas, right, is watching the legislature. You laugh, but you know that's where all that money gets spent. That's where all those decisions get made. And you know, if you want to, if you want to be warned what's coming, that's where you find out. More links to calendars. Down here we have this section, who represents me. A lot of, like I said, a lot of useful tools crammed into a small interface here. Throw in your address, your city zip code. You're going to get back a list of who your reps and who your senator is, and even a little bit further down for some places, and be able to reach out and contact them. Another just buried link here that's not real relevant this time, but every 10 years we talk about redistricting. There's a whole other interface here that is where they track all the maps and stuff. And if you do convention cycle with RPT, if you try to organize people for conventions or for passing bills, you need to know like who organize people into their districts and where you go. The most useful tool you're ever going to find is the districting viewer, which is on this page, but not all the way. Come back for it later. Yep, right there. It's a huge map. There's lots of nice overlays for districts, 3 views, slice and dice the data. Good tool. Okay, that's the menu page. Last piece come up here to the top bar. These are mostly repetitive links, except for this one right here, which is where we're going to go next, My TLO. But I also want to call out over here, these 2 tabs tell you exactly what the House and Senate is doing right now. And right now they are adjourned until the House later on, and the Senate is on Monday. So if you ever want to know, are they in session right now? Are they adjourned? Have they gone home only early for the weekend? Are we at sine die? That's updated, or that's current year-round. Okay? So, My TLO. Link up here, and this is what a lot of people spend their TLO training on, so you can probably go find videos online, just search YouTube for My TLO. I'm not going to spend a ton of time there. I'm going to spend some. I'm going to log in and out. So I want to show you the first thing. The first time you come here, you just click on one of these. There you go. And it says log in, because this is the part where you start tracking your own personal data, what bills you care about, what kinds of things you want to get email alerts for. You can get alerts that the House is in session or the House is adjourned for the day. You can get an email alert that says they're coming back from recess, that this bill moved from here to there. All that stuff, we're going to get into it, is there. But if you want to be a serious activist, a citizen lobbyist in the Texas Legislature, make sure you've got to log into My TLO and you configured it for the stuff that you care about. So you can create a login here. I'm going to go ahead and log in as the one I set up for today. pretty important you give them a legit email address for you, because that's where, as my friend Rachel says, don't give them your spam address, give them your real one, because all their communication, the point is to get communication from them, and if you send it to a black hole, then you'll be like, why does TLO not send me anything? Well, use the internet as well. So, under my TLO, once we're logged in, we have a few things to do. We're going to start with bill lists. Bill lists is your place to go and say, these are the bills that I care about, and I want to be able to come in and check in on them periodically. This is like your playlist on your music player, your phone, your MP3 player, if you grew up in the 90s, like however the kids do it these days. So you come in here, you create a bill list. I have one right now, and if you once you have one, you hit the run button. This is the kind of data you get back. I get to see every bill. I get to see a link to it. I get to see all the vital statistics on it, the caption, where it is. It's sitting in committee. It's left pending in committee. It's been engrossed. Yeah.
On the previous thing, when you're setting up, do you set them by subject matter, or do you set them by bill?
Just showing you what the goal of a bill list is, and then we'll show how you do one. You actually get to set your own little caption that will show up on here. So I just did a simple one with the low-hanging fruit bills that have been filed in connection with RPT legislative priorities, and I just captioned each one with what I use for the captions for the leg priorities. You can see the companion bills that Amy talked about. So this one was for the Article 5 convention. If we pull that up to the SE version of that, SE 21, which is the one that's already moved, we will see that it's out-of-state affairs. We will see these are the companion bills in the House. There's an identical one. There's a few of these that we had several identical ones. It's been engrossed, like she said. Anyway, that's what a bill list gets you. How do you make one? You come in here, you give it a bill list name, like training, you give it a description. This is just for your info. You can call it whatever you want to. You create it, and then you start adding bills to it. So I'm going to just start picking numbers. HD 1021 is probably a bill. I'm going to say this is a bill. This is where you can add whatever comment you want to add. You click add, it finds HB 1021. I pick one that actually exists with me. I don't know what those are, but they're hers. So I'll start picking one. SB2. I don't know what that one is. So we just start adding some bills. If we're talking property tax, we'll add another one. Yada, yada, yada. We generated a bill list. We save it. We run it. There we go. We made a bill list. Hooray for us. Very simple. And then you can build as many of those as you need to come in here and track bills that you care about. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, like I said, moving on. You can also, in the bill interface we're going to look at later, you can like right-click on bill captions and auto-add them. That's where you can do searches by topic and stuff like that. We have alerts here. So in this deep interface, you can search for bills, and you can say, if a bill does one of these things or all of these things, I want to get an email about it. I want to get an email that the governor signed the thing or vetoed, and I want to get one that it was left pending in committee. It was reported out of committee. Whatever you want to know, you can get an email about it through the alert list here. You can get an alert list whenever a calendar is posted online, made available. You can get emails whenever any of these committees host a hearing. I tend to be more of a push person. I come every Sunday night on my calendar after my kids are in bed, and I look at the hearings for the next week proactively for the bills I care about. But if you want to, I look at every committee hearing and look for bills I care about. But if you want to get it sent to you directly, this is where you do that. When the minutes of a committee are posted, when things from given subjects happen, and you can also, like I said, get notice when they're adjourned, and these, I believe, give you also when they come back in session. So, a few more things under my TLO. The bill lists and the alerts are the meat of it. So moving on. Spend some time on bills. Like I said, this is the meat of everything. You can do word phrase searches. You can search for, tell me about gun bills. There's somewhat better ways to do that in a deeper search. You can do it that way if you just want the If you know what you're looking for, if you're looking for SB4, I think was the one I was using the demo, you pick bill number and you just type it in, and then you search for it. Do check this. This is what session you want to search against. So you can search against the current session or previous sessions, and they're posted, if you don't know, by session number. This is the 85th session of the legislature under our current constitution. Usually that's going to default, especially at this point in session when we're a little bit in, it's going to default to right now. When the session's just starting up, it will often default to the last one, and even though the current one's in there, you got to go in there and change it. So if you start searching for a bill 2 years from now, just before the session starts, that you know is filed, and you're looking for a property tax bill, and it's bringing back something about a special water district in West Texas or something, because they're trying to find water in West Texas, you're probably on the wrong session, and you want to go check that. R means it's the regular session. It's the one that the Constitution requires that we have to create a budget bill. 1, 2, 3 is a special session. So last time we had one regular session for the, 2 times ago we had one regular for the 83rd, and then we had those 3 special sessions, and they're all there, and all the bill numbering starts over for each one, even for the special. So SB4, we'll come back to that. The other good interface to get a little deeper, the advanced search is this guy here. The bill search, this is where you can say things like, I want to see all the abortion bills. So I click that category, I go over here, I do search, and boom, there's all the abortion, there's all the bills that the legislative staff has tagged as abortion. They tend to be plenty tag happy, so you don't really need to be afraid you're going to miss a bill by using their terms. You're more likely to get more than you wanted and whittle it down. These some interfaces, you can right-click on those to add them to the bill list. Anyway, that's how you can find bills by topic, and you can slice and dice that with lots of different ones. Abortion is an easy one to just pick one on, but if you want to get into property tax, you're going to come down here, or education, you're going to have taxes, property, 6 or 7 different categories. You can micromanage or just grab all of them and take the bills. But assuming you know what bill you want to look for, and I do, I'm going to look for right? Yes. So this is a bill that is one of the bills that's, I'm picking it because it's kind of the furthest along right now. Right? It's made it through the Senate and is over on the House side. So I want to show you what all you can see on this bill page. This is everything you need to know about this bill right here. You've got the summary page, which includes all the action taken on the bill, which this is a bill that's made some progress. So there's a lot of stuff here, right? All the amendments that were offered on the floor of the Senate, including the withdrawn ones, the tabled ones, the ones that were actually applied. If you ever see the word just amended, that means amended, that one actually stuck. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get into the journal links directly, but all of these are links because if you click on one of them, you're going to dive straight into the Senate Journal from that day, and you're going to be able to find the action that was taken on that, including any debate that they had that was, not all debate is written down, is transcribed, but some of it is. The important stuff is if a senator asks for it or a representative asks for it, and you're going to see the record of all the action that took place. If you can't watch the video on a bill you care about, and you don't have time to watch the archive, you just need to look up something fast, or you heard that the remarks were reduced to writing, you reported in the journal, you want that text, the journal is where you go. Lots and lots of journals. That's basically the minutes of that. It is the minutes, but it deserves to be called something more because it's a lot broader in scope. Okay. We also have the text of the bill at each stage of the process. So Amy walked you through how a bill becomes law. We have PDFs, Word docs, and HTML versions, tons of info of the bill as it was filed, the bill as it came out of committee with some amendments, the bill as the Senate passed it, and then once it gets over and starts moving through the House, we'll start seeing the House committee version, if it gets through committee there, the House enrolled version that goes on to the governor, and the version, which is the version the governor would sign. You also have the fiscal notes here at each step where they're produced. Amy talked about what those are. Here you have the money, literally the money quote, no significant fiscal implication of the state is anticipated, so this is a zero fiscal note. You have an analysis. If you try to read the lawyer version, right, that's actually filed, it's actually the law, and it's Greek to you, or it's Austin to you, come over here to read the bill analysis. This is another service the state provides, where they're going to try to explain, this is the dummies version, what this bill's trying to do, and how it's trying to do it, and what gotchas they notice. Now this one I wouldn't necessarily say just rely on this analysis, like I said, rely on the tax, because this one does, this is where nobody's 100% objective, and the Austin bias starts showing up. If a bill has gone through committee, you're going to have a witness list, and if you come and testify, wait a few days and come back and see your name in all its glory.
Look at the short list of
Mr.
people testified
right
for,
here.
and all the people testified against it.
And you can see everybody who testified for and against, and this one had a lot of against. And somewhere down here, you're going to get to those that provided written testimony, and then you're also going to get to those that showed up and filled out a testimony card that they'll talk about later, and then did not provide testimony. They'll be there. Fours against and ons are all there. I'll leave the rest up for later. Forget the talk. More tabs up here. Action is a summary of the thing you saw on the history page. Here's where all the companions that the staff have identified are. So if you've got a bill and you want to know if it has a companion, you can find it here. Although they're going to warn you, this is their best effort. The actual determination if a bill is a companion, if it's over and eligible from one house to the other, and you can do all that weedy stuff, is up to the chambers themselves. You can see the text of every amendment that was filed. So all that stuff that was on the front page under current amendment eventually shows up here, and it'll actually usually show up here while they're debating it on the floor in real time. You can come see the PDF, scans.
Quick question. When you say companion, who's determining whether it's a companion bill?
When they
Is
file
that
it, they
the
indicated they intend
committee?
for it to be a companion. Originally, the author says, I want this SB to be the companion of that HB, and they say, okay, it's noted. And then they'll warn you on the companions tab. They'll do an analysis and say it is identical text or it's similar text.
Okay.
But ultimately, it's the chambers. Okay, we had HB2 come over to us, and it has to go through Senate committee, but we have SB 47, pretend, and we're saying that was a companion that's already been through committee, and we're going to declare it over and eligible and move forward with it without putting it back to committee. Authors, you can see when people added their name to it, if you care about keeping score that way. And then here's the dummies version of that big chart she showed you. For individual bills, you can see where they are in real plain, green or not. So this bill has made it through the first 3 steps. It has 4 more to go. At the end of session, when they're signed to die, one of those will turn red on any bill that hasn't moved forward. That's where it died. So every bill from a past session has this. All the current ones do as well. Again, you can spend a lot of time looking through bills there, but we're not going to. We've got like 5 minutes. Which is fun. I'm not going to go through all of the members list. There they are. Click on somebody's rep, and there's their office info, there's their contact info. Use it. It's all right there. Committees. All the committees in the House, right there. Click on one. There's the members. Click through. There's the individual contact info. Chair, vice chair, clerk, if you need to contact the committee clerk. It's not about lobbying for a bill. It's just about, I was there, I testified, I want to give you some information to give the members. There's their contact info. Committee meetings. Like I said, every Sunday night, whether I need to or not. Upcoming committee meetings. Boom. Here's the ones posted for the next 3 days, including the actual call of the meeting. They're organizational in the House right now, so those are kind of boring. Let's get over to the Senate. Committee meetings. A lot of these look very much the same between House and Senate because they keep them the same way they can be. Criminal justice probably. Yeah, they're hearing some bills. Links to the bills. In the caption, same kind of stuff you see on the bill page. This is how you know when hearings are coming up. You get alerts, or you go and you look through individually. calendars for the House, and you can see the House calendars for a specific date. Like Amy mentioned, if it's not on the calendar, it's not coming up unless the House takes extreme action, but they're not usually taking. Here you see that they're going to consider these items, these bills, and rules for their consideration that are relevant. That's how you know what the calendar is. It's public. It's not hidden in some back room where you have to, go dig for it and be special to find it. It's on the internet. Senate committees, as Amy mentioned, are a little different. They don't have a calendar like that. They do have an intent calendar. You can come see it. And these are all the bills that yesterday were placed on the intent calendar. Each one to actually be considered had to get a vote to be taken up out of order because there's a bill that's at the top of the order list called the Rosebush Blocker bill. And when you hear talk of a 2/3 majority or a supermajority to move a bill in the Senate, that bill sits there as a gatekeeper. And what they have to do is vote to bypass it for a given bill with a supermajority to bring it up for consideration. If that sounds like weeds, it's because it is. Quick version of the left side. Journals link. Come in there, and there's all the dates for every day of the session. And you already saw one of the PDFs, so I'm not going to click it again, but that's where you can find all the journals for this and for past sessions. My last 5 minutes, I want to run over here to video because it's so important. And it's, for some reason, it's, if the TLO is the secret tool of citizen lobbyists and activists, the video broadcasts are the secret tool. I'm not really sure why, as much as people love the reality TV. But again, every time I post about, oh, this is a really interesting debate, someone says, how are you in Austin again? I say, I'm watching it on the internet. Here's the link. So you can see everything coming up in the main chamber today, and once these things start happening, these will start being links. You can scroll down a little farther, and you can see committee and chamber archives for this and for past session, and you can click on one of those. This is just yesterday in the House, and you click on the link, and the internet magic happens.
How far back do they keep the videos?
Years.
Really?
Years. Yeah. As far as I know, everything's there since they put the cameras in these rooms. And, this is usually what it looks like, but, C-SPAN will return shortly at 10 a.m. This will start happening. And it's 10 a.m. Here they go. All right. Yeah.
Where did you get to that link for videos?
I went to the TLO page, and right over here on the right-hand side, video broadcast, House and Senate. And I clicked it, and I just went down to the bottom, and there's all the archives. Really, really great stuff here. You can get lost in the stuff if you're a political junkie, and I assume you are because of where you are right now on Thursday morning. All the committee broadcast stuff from this session is here. So you want to watch the budget debate from this morning? No greater way to spend Texas Independence Day. There you go. Here it is. Looks kind of similar to where we're standing right now. Yes, that's the first thing. Okay, I have a minute and a half left, so any questions? So now we're going to take a test. There's tons of info there. Go get lost in it if you haven't before. So bill search and give it no criteria would happen. All bills. Yeah, you get captions. If you want to get like bill tax, you need to knock down the floors.
They're almost up to 4,000 bills.
Yeah. This is all the bills. 4,000 files. There's lots of, if you want to get into the search food, these are good resources. They'll walk you through things like how to find all the bills that were filed yesterday, how to find all the bills that were filed by a given legislator. That's another thing you can do here. You can choose, I want to see all of Rodney Anderson's bills. There you are. frankly, I'm often confused at the fact that this interface is so useful because our government people. As a Republican, it blows my mind that they pulled this one off. Other states don't have it this good. Believe me, I've tried to help friends in other states, and I'm always like my kingdom for a TLO. Anyway, there you go.
Yay.
I've got, in case you didn't have internet, I've got prepped just a presentation that's just all those screenshots of all those pages I hit. If that's actually useful to people, if you saw something and you're not sure where it was and you want us to have screenshots, we can email that out as well. We're videoing this, so I assume that's going to be posted someday.
You mean like a PowerPoint presentation?
I do. Yeah, with just those screenshots. No other times.
That'd be
Thanks.
useful.
As I'd like to tell you, there's a version of this for federal legislation. I mean, I know we're not even going to touch that with the 10-foot pole today, but if you're interested, the Library of Congress put something out that's a similar function, not as good as this, but it's if you go to thomas.loc, libraryofcongress.gov. Thomas, like as in Thomas Jefferson, thomas.loc.gov, and that is the federal government interface for tracking legislation. It has some of the same features on it as well. So I also want to point out, you see in that right-hand column, how a bill becomes a law. If you really want to be an expert student in it, there is a series of videos on that you can entertain yourself with, and it's got some really good information. So, I mean, not that I wasn't completely thorough. I just mean, you know,
Where would we find those videos, Amy?
if you that right-hand column, do you see where the star is?
Yes.
How a bill becomes a law. There's a series of videos on that, and there's also a very good one on Thomas as well. They have a good explanation too of federal, because of course the federal rules are a little bit different. So, all right, I do not see my my 10:15 speaker, because we are on time and under budget. Thank you very much. So he's not here yet.
And napping.
Do what?
And napping.
Not quite.
Not quite.
So I guess if you guys want to quiz one another for just a second, we'll take about a 2-minute break here. See, you know, you use the break word and everybody stands up. There it is. Do what?
Who's the 10:15 speaker?
It is testifying before committees.
No, I'm plugging in my phone.
I mean, that website is Thomas. LOC, Library of Congress. .gov. I just always think it's good to point it out because the federal government needs watching as well. So.
Amy, you probably got at least half those people in this room that could just get up and talk about this.
I know.
Just,
We geared this to newbies though, so.
which is good because we're live streaming it for all the newbies out on the internet. Hi, Amy.
Oh, wait, am I currently being
Oh, here.
with the baby?
Okay. Yes. What's the baby's name?
This is Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Hang on.
Okay.
See a face.
Right. See, there's me. There's Reed. Whoops.
Here we go.
Okay. Flip it for baby. Hey there.
He's fascinated with Amy's stuff.
That's right.
He won't look at the camera. He's
Actually, it
fascinated with
was
your
my
stuff.
Benjamin into the got all the best.
Yeah. That's great.
Let's see.
Aww.
What month was that? Was that August?
It's 10K.
Is that right? The national convention.
Okay, so yeah, we had legislative training. Republican Party of Texas has put together a series of speakers. Amy Clark did an orientation, and there's video, so we'll have a good video going once it's all done. Jeremy Blosser just gave a run-through on how to effectively use the Texas Legislature online. A lot of the links and tabs that people don't even realize are there and what they do. So make sure you catch that part. You can Google Texas Legislature online and find it and check it out. We're at the Capitol. We're going to finish up this RPT legislative training, and then we're going to go over to Rachel's gun owner lobby day. Let's see. I've got the shirt on. I'm wearing her shirt. Ta-da. Okay. Yeah, and my necklace. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go do gun owner lobby day, even though I don't own a gun. I don't. All my money goes in my gas tank. Oh man, I'm looking at myself finally. And my bangs are all off. Anyway, okay, so we got a full day, and tonight is hamburgers at Rachel's. So if you're in Austin and you want to come learn some more and hang out and talk, message me and we'll tell you where that is. Oh, and yes, we got boots on. We blinged up boots this time.
Those are awesome.
Did you see I changed them up this time around?
Oh, you sure did.
I did. I added stuff to them on the inside and the outside. Okay, I don't know where they are. I'm bad. I'm a bad advertiser. This is my fourth pair. I block walk in and so they don't last very long. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video.
It's my pleasure to introduce the new chairman of the Recording Texas to come on stage. Chairman Tom Meckler.
Oh, Chairman Tom Meckler. Okay.
Show me your boots. These are so awesome.
A lot of SREC here today, that's great. How many people in the room were not SREC members? So about, I don't know, about 8 or so, maybe 10. You know, we talked a lot about the importance of the grassroots, which the Republican Party of Texas, without grassroots, basically becomes a shell. It's like in name only almost. And so the grassroots is what brings all the energy and all the power to the party itself. And, you know, there's a lot of different interests that are part of the political process around the state. Hope my hair looks all right if I'm doing videotape. All over here, and when I walk past, and especially down there with the humidity, it kind of curls my hair, so forgive me if I look a little, I need a haircut. Should tell me to get that leaf. Anyway, but the power of the grassroots is essentially what the party is and represents. And I would say to you, with all the competing political interests around the state, the Republican Party is what gives us a place at the table. And that's why the party, in my opinion, is so very important. It's always going to be a grassroots party because of the convention. The convention process is what gives us the ability to bring everybody together to make a very, very strong statement. And so many of you may have never gone through this process before. I think it's exciting. I want to thank Amy and her committee for putting this thing together. It's incredible. I kind of have this joke that I tell at some of these events, and I say, well, as a state chairman, all the toughest problems that I deal with, I give them to the women. And they're the ones that take care of them, whether it's Amy or Tony or McKinley, who you've met, or Henry Bertle, my executive assistant, or Linda Kinney when it comes to trying to get the conventions going in the right places, and that's worked out pretty well under her leadership. Well, at least for people from San Antonio. So, but I just want to, I won't take a lot of time, I don't want to interfere with your program. I just want to say thank you very much for being here today. And just, you know, I hope it's a great learning experience. I think you may be sitting here feeling like you're drinking from a fire hose. If you've never done this, it's like getting hit maybe even with a tidal wave. And you're just trying to say, oh my gosh, what's going on with this whole process? But if you come back, and come back, and come back, you kind of get the hang of it. You'll watch and you'll maybe go to some of the hearings and begin to see how the process works. You sign in. I think you probably already covered that. I think we're covering that next about testifying. And it's all very systematic. I'd ask, and I know probably when you say this to this group and you go see state reps, be very polite and respectful. That has a tendency to be more effective than people that in the past have shouted and cussed at them. You know, they pretty much blocked that out. But these are incredible public servants. They're not doing it for the money, obviously. They're only getting paid a I think it's $700 a month.
$600.
$600 a month. I was going to give them a raise. I've had members tell me that that they have to, that by the time their health care is paid for by the state care, the state of Texas provides health care for their families if they subscribe to that they actually have to give the state, it takes their entire paycheck and they have to give the state money. So you might remember that as you go around and meet these people. They're not volunteers per se because they do get paid $600 a month, but they're essentially volunteers. And they sacrifice them tremendously for us. And so I think it's just important to remember that. You've given a lot, you've sacrificed a lot. And, to come down here and to be a part of this process and be part of the state party, or the grassroots wing of the party as a volunteer, and you obviously wouldn't want someone to come out there and start shouting at you or something and accusing you of things, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm just a volunteer. And so anyway, they kind of are too. So I don't want to dwell on that. I just want to maybe wrap up by saying it's great that you're here. I think by your presence it sends a message that the grassroots is engaged. We've done some things with the legislative committee on the SREC this time that have never been done before. So, it's not a perfect process. We're trying to get the kinks worked out, I know, but Amy's done a remarkable job of leading us, and it's a work in progress. And I think every 2 years, we're going to turn around and take more ground and take more ground and take more ground. So, God's blessings to you. I pray for your safety as you return home, and trust that you'll have a wonderful day. Thank you. Amy's growing the party as quick as she can.
I've done my part. I would like to take just a minute and recognize the members of the committee. If you are on the legislative committee, would you please stand? Today we have with us Jeremy Blosser, Mark Dunham, Paul Braswell, Mark DeRazio, Michael Cloud, Lindsay Kinney, Tom Washington. We have a few other members that are not here with us today, but I just wanted to take a minute and thank you for all the work that you've done, and thank you for helping us put this together. So I would like to introduce another one of our SREC colleagues, Mike Goldman. He is today, what hat do you have on today?
Texas Conservative Coalition.
Okay, so he wears a bunch of different hats like we all do. So he's going to talk to us about testifying before committee.
Thank you, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why I'm sitting up here. I'm trying to get you all in the zone. So what's going to happen is when you come and testify at a committee, you'll be in a room just like this one. It might be this room. If it's not, it'll be a near duplicate. And I'll tell you something funny. I've been in this chair before. Because I used to work for Governor Adams. Believe it or not, the governor's office presides over the early rounds of budget hearings for each state agency. And so the agencies, they would come up, they would sit in the witness desks, and they would deliver testimony. And then we would pepper them with questions. It was a lot of fun. It was like pretending to be legislators. And the neat thing is, you're right here. You're right here in the Capitol, speaking to your elected representatives, your legislative lawmaking branch of government. So it's easy to say. I know we often say, well, you need a lot of money to run for office. You need to know all these people. Well, guess what? Each and every one of us can come down here to the Capitol and make our voices heard. And it actually isn't even that difficult a process.
Could you speak up just a little bit?
All right, can you hear me better? Let me see if this...
You probably turn the light
is this
up
clearer?
too.
Yes, it is. Much clearer. Okay.
Can they turn the
All
light
right.
up?
So my name is Michael Goldman, and today I'm here. I'm also on the SREC. In fact, the same district that Amy used to represent when she was one of our wonderful members before she became vice chair. Because you can't keep her. She's got to keep moving up because she's our best person. She keeps growing the party. But all of you are phenomenal, and all of you at the chapter really do